Former head of state Yakubu Gowon has made serious allegations against Ojukwu. I repeat, former Nigeria's head of state Yakubu Gowon has made serious allegations against Biafra leader Odumegwu Ojukwu. He granted an exclusive interview with Arise TV and he made some revelations and accusations. Let's look at some of the things he said. 1. The Biafra war casualties are not in millions. That is from Gowon. He said that the Biafra war casualties, as stipulated by Ojukwu and the Biafran side, they are not in their millions. Number 2, the Biafra war was not against the Igbos, but the secessionists. The Biafra war was not against the Igbos, but the secessionists. Who are the secessionists? Ojukwu and his men. Number 3, Ojukwu refused food aid to his people during the war. Ojukwu refused. Look at these are allegations, serious allegations. Ojukwu himself refused food aid to his people during the war. Okay? And lastly, this one caught my attention. The content of the Aburi Accord read by Ojukwu in Nigeria is not the true spirit of the agreement. Some of the things that Gowon said during an exclusive interview with Arise TV. Now, this thing about the Nigerian Civil War is one of the things that is holding Nigeria down. The Civil War, refusal to allow the Igbo people go, refusal to restructure Nigeria, or refusal to treat the Igbo people as normal citizens in Nigeria is one of the things impeding the growth, the development of Nigeria. Yes. So that Civil War itself is calculatively planted by the British to destabilize Nigeria. You know about divide and rule. Yes, divide. Politicians, they will divide and rule. So Nigeria will be in disarray. Then the British will continue to control power through the back. You see what Fulani is doing in communities today. You see that Nigeria, with all the natural resources, with all the potentials, we have human potentials, we have natural resources, both land and both water. Resources, plenty, left, right, center. Most countries that are developed and industrialized today do not have the resources that we have. But the West see Africa as a threat. And whatever they want to do is to make sure that Africa is not stable, Nigeria is not stable to achieve that aim. They see the Igbo people as a threat, like the Igbo people are not people that want to become slaves to the establishment. An average Nigerian politician or the cabals or the political cycle, they are afraid of the Igbo man because they believe that this creation of the Britain or British will be destroyed if an Igbo, they believe, their insinuation, that if an Igbo man becomes president, he will divide Nigeria. Or you have access to some information that they don't want them to have access to. Yes. So this thing said by by Gowon against Ojukwu, if you are watching this broadcast, I want you to contribute your quota. He said that the casualties we had in the war were not in millions. The Biafra war was not against the Igbos, but against the secessionists. Ojukwu refused food aid to his people during the war. Most of us were not born during the war. The people that have, many people wrote about Biafra. This one writes his own side of the story. That one writes his own side of the story. Jordan one writes his own side of the story. Everybody's telling, most times, people tell these stories to suit their own interests. Everybody wants to, their own perception. They want to tell their own story. The way a Yoruba person will tell you about the Civil War is different from the way an Igbo person would tell his children about the Civil War, and also different from the way a Hausa or a Fulani person would talk about the Civil War. But when you look at it critically, the Civil War is that one foundation. Nigeria today is built on that foundation, and that foundation is a faulty foundation. That is why there's so much hatred amongst tribes. I'm telling you, Nigeria is polarized to the extent that, man, the hatred no be here. When we talk about the Civil War, when I looked at the interview Gowon did, and I look at the comment section, a lot of people were saying so many things, like this and that. there were ethnic slurs, ethnic abuses. So with this kind of mindset and sentiment, can we build a country? Is Nigeria going to become a country with this kind of different ideas and mindset? It cannot. Let's look at the Biafra war casualties are not in millions. Now, Gowon should tell us what was his role, or what did he do when hundreds of thousands of Igbos were killed in the north after the coup? BBC, the media, said it is an Igbo coup and everybody followed it. The same way the media is deceiving us on this Israel-Iran issue. We know that Trump himself, called CNN and co. fake news media. Trump, if it were to be a Nigerian or me, I'm saying CNN is fake news or whatever. You say, what does this boy know? You downplay what I'm saying. BBC then, you saw what BBC did about the NSAS protest. The information they brought out with their investigation. And if you are into the media, you understand what I'm saying. So Igbo coup, that word Igbo coup, created a lot of perception. And this perception led to the killings of Igbo in northern Nigeria. Some people were killed gruesomely while the military looked away. People were taking laws into their hands. People became lawless. Like people, they were above the law. They will go into a house because he's a Yamini or he's an Igbo person. You draw him out, you kill him. The government will just look the other way. They'll do as if they want to arrest you. But like the way things are going on in the Middle Belt and northern Nigeria, whereby the Nigerian military is accused of aiding the bandits, whereby the Nigerian military will come and disarm the people who want to defend themselves. After the government failed them, the Nigerian military will come and disarm them. Then the next time we see the bandits come to attack them. Somebody will say that the soldiers are training these bandits. So the same thing happened then. Igbos in their hundreds of thousands were killed. How would you attribute the action of Nzogu? Whatever happened amongst them is not representative of the Igbo people. When you look at it critically, Ojukwu had to convince the elders in Igbo land that he wants to go to a war. These soldiers, military soldiers, they are not representing the ideologies. For instance now, look at the Southeast. Look at the governors. Look at the representatives. What the people want and what the governors are doing, is it in the same line? Are they representing the interest of the people? So why would you say an Nzogu Accord and if they are tribalists? You can't say every Igbo man is a bigot or every Igbo man hates Yorubas. And you can't say every Yorubas hate Igbos. Then you now ascribe this. So the British tentatively, using some elements, I'll mention two people they used. They used the Fulani, I'll not mention the second person. Because there's a time for reckoning. You understand? To create that impression. You see, normally, everybody has some tribal sentiment. Everybody has some tribal sentiment. There's no harm. If you grew in an environment, if you grew in a civilization, you'll be sentimental to that your environment. Like as an Igbo person, I have some sentiments about the Igbo people. As a Yoruba person, you must have some sentiments about the Yoruba people. So if those guys were displaying their sentiment, why would it lead to the killing of hundreds, thousands of Igbos in northern Nigeria? What led to the war? So the question is, Mr. Gowon, what did you do when Igbos were killed in their hundreds? What did you do to stop it, to avert the killings? You allowed them to be killed until somebody took an action. Then you now responded. Like I said, if thieves enter this house and they are stealing, after them, if I call the police before they break into my house, you'll be surprised that you will not see the police after the thief have done what it wants to do or they want to do. So Gowon was there. He was not abreast of what is going on in northern Nigeria. He could not stop the killings as the leader then. It was when somebody took it upon himself to say, okay, since this is the treatment you are giving to us, we don't want to be part of this union. They went to Aburi, and what is being said by Gowon is that the content of the Aburi Accord read by Ojukwu in Nigeria, not the true spirit of the agreement. That means whatever they discussed in Aburi and what Ojukwu was saying in Nigeria were different things. The explanation was different, was not the true spirit, not the true representation. Ojukwu said that the military administrators would control the army, and the Nigerian government said no, we are not going to support that. Now, let's focus on these casualties. Did Biafra die in their millions? Now, I've asked the question before. Gowon should tell us what happened. What did he do before Ojukwu came and declared Biafra? What was his action towards the death of hundreds of thousands? We lost a lot of prominent men in Igbo land. We lost a lot of people during that war. Educated, we are far higher in education. We had a lot of educated people, people placed in government. Most of our veterans, most of our scientists, most of our politicians were killed as a result of that war. What did Gowon do? So he allowed the Northerners to keep on killing the Igbos, and now Ojukwu moved to declare the war. We will continue to blame ourselves if we don't put everything behind us and forge ahead. And the ahead that we are supposed to forge is that this country needs to be rearranged. Rearranged. The way it is arranged, we are carrying the pains, the agonies of the past. An Igbo man will not agree with a Yoruba man because of Biafra. A Yoruba man will be saying Igbo is this, like so many things happen because of the war. The Igbo man is unsettled because of the war. The Igbo man that was positioned for greatness before the war just scattered a lot of things, destroyed, many people were killed. Now, they are not in their millions. The starvation, the number of people that died as a result of starvation, my brother, is in millions. You might not say 3 million, but when you say million, he enter million, my brother. He enter million. Yes. So now the next one is that the war was not against the Igbos, but the secessionists. Everybody has a leader. Every group has a leader. Political leader, religious leader, or ethnic leader, whatever it is. When Igbos were being killed, the secessionists were not the ones that were killed. When the Igbos were being maimed, their houses destroyed, they were dragged in the street, the secessionists were not the ones that were killed. Because of the acts of these barbaric people in northern Nigeria that went on a killing spree, that is why these people declared a Biafra. So you're not looking at the root cause of why the guy declared the war. You are trying to use politics. If you listen to the interview, he's not consistent with so many things he's saying. He will say this and jump to the other one, trying to dodge some questions. They asked him, what is the content of the accord? Nobody is willing to come out to say this is the content of the accord. Nobody. These people have done us dirty, I'm telling you. They have done us, they have lived their life. They have put us in this wahala, and they are going, leaving us with the problems. Instead of them to come and put it straight. Look at what Babangida said in his book. That the war was not really like the civil, the coup, the thing they called Igbo coup was not really like an Igbo coup. But later some people turned it. That is what Babangida said. The insinuation was that Igbo, they want Igbo. Some people turned it to be ethnic because of their own biases, not representing the whole Igbos. They are not representative of the people in Igbo land. And because of their actions, they carry the hatred, because normally the hatred did there before. If you listen to the interview, BBC interviewed the South Adna, Ahmadu Bello then, he talked about indigenization policy. Most other people are taking the jobs belonging to Northerners. That the Igbo man, he talked about the Igbo man, if he comes to a place, if he's a foreman, before you know, he takes over. They are domineering with their hard work and what have you. They go to school, they do their best to become the best, they do their best to become the head. They are taking the jobs. So that hatred has been there for a very long time. So that coup was an opportunity for people to vent their anger on the Igbo people. And that is why Nigeria, if you don't fix history, you are bound to repeat it. If you don't fix history, you are bound to repeat it. So a reflection of what happened in 1967 is a reflection of what's happening now. Look at Shore. He said, it's like the hatred of an average Igbo man is in the blood of every Nigerian. It's like these guys are not liked. Any opportunity, the government will want to use the opportunity to hit the Igbos. Look at IPOB and look at the protests in Southeast Nigeria. Look at what Buhari did. Something he could not do with Boko Haram. He could not do with the people he invited into the country, with bandits. Instead, he's giving amnesty, or what do they call it? Repentant. They go through a program. But if it were to be in the Southeast, they don't want to know. They will make sure that, that is when you see the soldiers will be so happy. They are going to Southeast. They want to shed blood. The hatred has been there a very long time. Look at protests in Nigeria. When you want to protest, come out and protest. The last end bad governance protest, everybody was looking at, yes, Naibo people. After a Yoruba person came out and said, "Na me, they do that protest." No, it's Obi. No, it's obedient. No, it's Igbo people. Igbo people came out. I did a broadcast then. Igbo are not joining this protest. Yet people really wanted to put. They are looking for a way to get at the Igbos. I don't know. Everybody wants to use the Igbos as scapegoat or whatsoever have you. So whatever will happen in history is a reflection of what is happening today. Nnamdi Kanu is in custody because of the same thing. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu gave conditions of dropping an agitation. But the government of the day will refuse. If Nnamdi Kanu did like Ojukwu and declared war, what would be the story? Thank God we have internet today, social media. Some people will not just, Ibadan media will not just play around. The BBC will not play around. Look at the answers. Look at what BBC did in front of everybody. What everybody witnessed. BBC far away, London. You are telling us our stories. We that are in the Nigeria. Now we did for instance Nigeria. You are telling us that this one is true, this one is lie, this one is lie. So no wonder. We are having different accounts of the Biafra Civil War, or what transpired in 1967 to 1970. So if Nnamdi Kanu were to take the same step Ojukwu took, what would the government have said? He's in court now. What is the government saying about Nnamdi Kanu? He's going through his treasonable felony. He's doing this against Nigeria state. The same thing Ojukwu did is the same thing Nnamdi Kanu did, because we refuse to fix the Igbo man. We refuse to bring justice to the Igbo man, fairness and equity to the Igbo man. We refused it. And he wants to break away, which is his own right to do so. The Fulani carefully have found a way to use the excuse of the referendum is not in the constitution, so you cannot separate, you cannot split. No, the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. The unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. Sultan is owning oil well in Niger Delta. But the same unity in Niger Delta, you find it difficult to own mines in Zamfara. You find it difficult to own mines in that Zamfara. You have oil well. Because of the one Nigeria, you are capitalizing on it. You are taking away from it. You are stealing from it. You are stealing other people's resources because of one Nigeria. So Nnamdi Kanu now, they will have said, Nnamdi Kanu did this, Nnamdi Kanu did that, Nnamdi Kanu did it. Nnamdi Kanu fought for one Nigeria, for Nigeria to be better. Nnamdi Kanu came out and said, we don't want to be part of Nigeria, which is a good presentation, a fact. The Igbos, looking at them critically, they really don't want to be part of Nigeria. What did they tell the NSAS protesters? They are committed treason. It is not about end bad governance. And every revolution, there's always casualties. So they use advantage of the casualty that whatever happened during you agitating, they'll use it against you to an extent. It's unfortunate that former head of state Gowon is taking this route and is making this statement instead of him apologizing to what has been done to the people he carried out the Biafra war against. But yet everybody is claiming that he's right in their own eyes. However, we should be instructed on what to say about this Nigeria. If we don't fix our past, we cannot fix our future. We'll just fizzle away. Just fizzle away. Now, lastly, look at what is attributed to Awolowo. All is fair in war, and starvation is one of the weapons of war. I don't see why we should feed our enemies fat in order for them to fight harder. This is attributed to Obafemi Awolowo, Nigerian Minister of Finance, July 28, 1969. All is fair in war. Starvation is one of the weapons of war. I agree with him. When you're fighting war, starvation is one of the weapons. Also, Chief Nya Wodo made a statement. He said, the North fed us in Igbo land after the Biafran war, civil war. The North fed us after the Biafran civil war. Now, the whole aim of Biafra is to purely prevent ourselves from being slaughtered, nothing more. We don't want to have that treatment we are having in Nigeria anymore. We want to be on our own. That is just it. The whole aim of Biafra. What is hard for you to allow Igbos go? What is hard? Let my people go. What is hard with that one? But yet, people are playing politics with the lives of people. People are just so selfish. Even the Nigerians themselves, the leaders don't even care about them. We know that one day, the spirit of Biafra lives in every Igbo man, and it's going to get to a point. Nigeria will let Biafra go.